In Fabric, trust begins with identity. Every organization, admin, user, and certificate needs governance from onboarding through daily changes, compliance checks, incidents, and offboarding. That lifecycle is what keeps participation controlled, auditable, and secure. So far, we've moved from Fabric architecture and smart contracts into deployment, monitoring, and consortium governance. Now we focus on identity. Who can participate? Who authorizes them? Which credentials prove trust? And how that trust changes over time. At the technical layer, a certificate authority issues certificates. But governance decides who is allowed to request, approve, issue, and revoke them. The MSP translates those decisions into Fabric trust rules, trusted routes, intermediate CAs, organizational units, and role mappings. Those rules control what admins, users, peers, orderers, clients, and automated services can do on channels. In short, identity governance keeps access aligned with business authority. Participant lifecycle management is access governance over time. Before anyone joins, you verify eligibility and risk. After onboarding, they operate under approved permissions. When something changes, the change requires review, documentation, and technical updates. If risk appears, access can be suspended, then restored or fully removed. Emergency response covers urgent exceptions without losing accountability. This same model applies to both organizations and individual identities, combining automated controls with formal approval for higher risk decisions. Before an organization receives network credentials, the consortium validates business trust. That includes legal identity, regulatory standing, ownership, jurisdiction, and contractual obligations. It also includes operational readiness, security maturity, incident response, and infrastructure controls. The consortium then defines the participant's role, such as member, regulator, auditor, operator, or service provider. Only after governance rules, voting thresholds, and admission policies are satisfied does technical onboarding begin. After approval, onboarding becomes a technical trust exercise. The organization's certificate authority chain is collected and encoded into an MSP, together with admin certificates, TLS trust routes, and NodeOU rules. NodeOU rules allow Fabric to tell whether an identity is acting as a client, peer, admin, or orderer. The result is a portable trust definition that channels and consortium policies can reference consistently, using agreed security standards and naming conventions. With the organization's trust structure in place, individual identities can be issued and used. Each peer, client, and administrator is registered, enrolled, assigned attributes, and deployed with the right certificate profile. The most sensitive account is the registrar, because it can create users, enroll nodes, and manage resources. Limit its privileges, set expiration and enrollment rules, and protect private keys in an HSM, Vault, Kubernetes secret, or Cloud KMS. From there, onboarding moves into controlled integration. Start by validating the runtime environment, peers or orderers, TLS, DNS, firewalls, connectivity, and monitoring. Then update the approved consortium, channel, and application policies so the organization is recognized by governance. Next, join authorized channels and install or approve required chaincode definitions. Finally, confirm the integration end-to-end with test proposals, endorsements, commits, and event delivery. User governance starts by separating identity from entitlement. A person or application may have a valid Fabric certificate, but that does not mean it should be able to do everything. Business users, auditors, service accounts, operators, and administrators all need different boundaries. Certificate attributes, enterprise identity claims, and chaincode checks work together to enforce those boundaries. Governance then continues through access reviews, audits, and cleanup of dormant accounts, preventing privilege creep over time. Administrative access is where governance either protects the network or creates one of its biggest weaknesses. No single identity should control the CA, channel policies, chaincode lifecycle, infrastructure, and monitoring. Sensitive changes should require more than one approver, with a clear audit trail. Emergency access should be reserved for defined break glass cases and reviewed afterwards. Avoid shared admin accounts as well. Named identities make accountability real because every action maps back to a responsible person. Administrator identities deserve the same protection as production signing keys. One compromised admin can change certificates, policies, channels, and chain code governance. Treat this access as temporary and observable. Store private keys in vaults or HSMs. Require MFA, just-in-time approval, and privileged access controls. Rotate certificates on a schedule and immediately after role changes or incidents. Finally, monitor administrative activity through CA logs, Kubernetes audits, configuration history, and SIEM alerts. Offboarding is not the same as deleting an organization from history. It is a controlled exit from future participation. First, the consortium decision and required notices establish authority and timing. Then certificates for admins, peers, clients, and service accounts are revoked or allowed to expire. Next, channel configuration, endorsement rules, lifecycle policies, and ACLs are updated. The organization loses operational access, while the shared ledger and audit trail remain intact. The closure process also has to preserve evidence and remove dependencies. Decide what must be retained: ledger records, private data, backups, logs, and audit evidence. Stop future private data sharing by updating collection membership where needed. Remove operational access through DNS, firewall rules, API keys, monitoring accounts, and CI/CD permissions. Finally, capture proof of the final state. The goal is straightforward: preserve auditability while preventing any future unauthorized access. In an identity emergency, speed matters, but coordination matters just as much. Escalate through the agreed contacts, severity levels, and consortium decision process. Contain the risk by revoking compromised certificates, publishing fresh revocation lists, and confirming that peers and applications actually consume them. If trust anchors, MSP definitions, or admin certificates are affected, update configuration safely. Throughout the response, preserve logs, blocks, CA records, and key management evidence for audit and investigation. Identity governance is not a launch task. It is a continuous operating discipline. Consortium decisions must flow into MSPs, certificates, policies, onboarding, offboarding, and emergency response. When identities are governed well, technical trust becomes accountable enterprise trust. Next, we connect this foundation to compliance, auditability, and regulatory readiness.